Welcome back to our video series about the science, philosophy, and metaphysics behind information field technology. In Chapter 7, we're going to talk about information field studies. Note, the following studies were conducted by TimeWaver or Healy World using standard TimeWaver or Healy equipment and software. Study participants were self-selected current Healy users or external people who voluntarily chose to participate. Accepted and validated experimental protocols and analytical methods were followed. Incentives, if any, are disclosed in the respective study. In a study on the TimeWaver coherence module, participants in the harmonization group showed an average 39% increase in well-being on the quality of life assessment, WHO-5, an average 8% increase in coherence status, SOC9, and an average 32% decrease in concerns, MIMOP. The effect size of this randomized, two-arm pilot study with 97 participants was middle-large for well-being, small for coherence status, and very large for decrease in concerns. For the participants of the information field analysis, only the group effect size for well-being was only small. In a study on TimeWaver database analysis, participants showed an average 28% increase in well-being on the quality of life assessment, WHO-5, an average 16% increase in coherence status, SOC9, and an average 37% decrease in concerns, MIMOP. The effect size of this randomized, two-arm pilot study with 151 participants was middle-large for well-being, middle-large for coherence status, and very large for decrease in concerns. For the participants of the information field analysis-only group, the effect size was only small for well-being, small for coherence status, and middle-large for decrease in concerns. In a study on the TimeWaver Meridians module, participants showed an average 30% increase in well-being on the quality of life assessment, WHO-5, an average 9% increase in coherence status, SOC9, and an average 29% decrease in concerns, MIMOP. The effect size of this randomized, two-arm pilot study with 275 participants was middle-large for well-being, small for coherence status, and very large for decrease in concerns. For the participants of the only information field analysis group, the effect size was only small for well-being, small for coherence status, and middle-large for decrease in concerns. In a study on the TimeWaver coaching module, participants showed an average 10% to 33% increase in well-being on the quality of life assessment, WHO-5, an average 6% to 47% increase in goal attainment, GAL, MIMOP, and an average 6% to 18% increase in mental well-being, WEM, WBS. The effect size of this randomized, four-arm pilot study with 127 participants was small to very large for well-being, small to very large for goal attainment, and small to large for mental well-being. In a study on the Heal Advisor Analyze coaching module, participants showed an average 58% increase in well-being on the quality of life assessment, WHO-5. The effect size of this randomized, three-arm controlled study with 276 participants was very large for well-being. In a study on the Heal Advisor Analyze Resonance module, participants showed an average 43% increase in well-being on the quality of life assessment, WHO-5. The effect size of this randomized, three-arm pilot study with 282 participants was very large. In this diagram, we analyzed the data of the noise generators of the Global Consciousness Project, which were observed during the use of TimeWaver devices during harmonization in the information field of the Global Earth Healing Project. The Global Earth Healing Project was launched at the TimeWaver World 2013 convention by Markus Schmieke, Dr. Hendrik Treugott, the founder of the German Society for Energy and Information Medicine, and Thomas Bishop. On specific dates, the network of TimeWaver users is invited to participate with their TimeWaver systems, vibrating positive information into the global consciousness of humanity. This is an example of the data from the first optimization in the series on December 1st, 2013. We can observe a clear reaction here, with the data is going far beyond the 3 sigma confidence interval. There were incredibly strong results, as you can see in the diagram, on the first and second event. On the third event and on the fourth, we had a strong result, so the first 4 events were very strong in general. There were some weaker results later on. Between 2013 and 2020, there were a total of 21 GEHP harmonizations. The expected theoretical result for random matches was 0.5. The actual result was 0.64. In this diagram, you see the linear approximation of the results from 2013 to 2020. This is a very strong decline effect, as predicted by German scientists Professor Harold Volek and Dr. Walter von Lukadau. Non-causal and non-local effects based on information field entanglement are to be expected to behave like this, with an initially very strong effect that later decreases. If you repeat them for long enough, the result will drop to 0.5, and this is exactly what we're seeing here. It could even drop some more and eventually become very weak. This doesn't mean that the effect diminishes or declines over time. It just shows that it can't be documented very precisely over long periods of time because the effect occurs in places where it is not documented, so it eludes documentation in the long run. This can be avoided if you vary the study design and content. The studies we have conducted with our clinical research team over the last 2 years have shown this very clearly.